Welcome to this review of a very wholesome movie. Yet, really, what you're here for is the wholesome cat.
This movie is as wholesome as this cat that really wants to escape my arms right now. But this is Eggsy, and he's wholesome, just like A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, starring Tom Hanks.
And he wants to leave.
He's gone.
This movie was awesome to see.
It was.
Let me just cut that.
It was more awesome to see his reaction to the movie.
Gosh, we'll get into that in a second, but I was just happy to see this movie.
Also, hi, I haven't been here in a while.
My beautiful wife Katy took me over to see A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and man, we had just a blast seeing this in theaters. Straight off the get-go, I have to say my favorite thing about this movie is that it just gets across this connection so beautifully and so vividly to you. In the way that it does its performances, the way that it shows mental trauma and issues, but also dealing with them and treating each other as human beings. So the message of the movie just seems so true for me.
Yeah, this movie not only gave a great message, but weirdly enough, I, who doesn't usually notice these things, but the way that they filmed it, the way that the transitions worked, and then the way that they weaved everything in together, it was just all around in all aspects of things was amazing.
You think Mr. Rogers cheesy, but now it's Mr. Rogers completely wholesome.
Nah,
It's
I don't know if y'all
100%.
remember when you were sick, when you were young, you had to stay home, you had saltines, either 7-Up, Sprite, or ginger ale, and Mr. Rogers was on, and your mom was feeding you that crap Robitussin that was supposed to taste like cherry, and it tasted like butt. You were watching Mr. Rogers, and that's when you learned your biggest lessons.
Yeah, that's true. And this movie goes into that as well. You know, it's never too late to learn something new about yourself, to make a change, and to move forward.
And that's the best part. Children do not have a full frontal, starring role in this movie. It's an adult who learns from Mr. Rogers. And the thing about this movie that I liked is, yes, it's called A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, but it's about someone else.
Exactly.
Who learns from him.
Which, speaking of, what was one of your favorite moments of the movie? What was a beautiful time in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
A beautiful time in the neighborhood. So, I make Anthony screen things for me. Because I have horrible anxiety. So, for example, The Mandalorian. I'm sure you all are watching Baby Yoda. So, the first time I saw Baby Yoda, I was like, alright, I can't let anything happen to this guy. So, I make him screen the episodes. And then if nothing bad happens to Baby Yoda, I will watch. But I guarantee you, if anything ever bad happens to Baby Yoda, I'm skipping that episode because I cannot handle that anxiety. And I know some of you out there know what I'm talking about.
It's like a dog.
It's like if the dog in a movie gets hurt or the person you love. What this movie did though, I never felt like it wasn't going to get resolved. And I never felt like it was bad. I felt like it was the right type of anxiety, if that makes sense.
In the drama of the scene, it still worked. It just didn't leave you with
Yeah, the thing is, what was happening, it needed to happen. The anxieties of this movie, which if you have seen it or if you do see it, which you should, it needs to happen because it's character growth.
This movie elicits reactions from you. This movie is emotional, and I can't remember the last time a movie made me literally bawl out crying, ugly tears in the car, on the way back home.
It was really sweet, you guys.
Yeah, I feel like we are all capable of being the bad guy, are all making mistakes, but we're also all capable of learning from them. And that's the perfect, true meaning behind this movie, and it really got that across.
And I think one of the reasons that you got emotional about it is because you yourself are an empath through and through.
I tried.
No, he is. Don't see this try thing. And so he saw Mr. Rogers' relationship with Lloyd, and he saw it from both sides, so...
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And that kind
it was
of thing
a beautiful day.
Right.
Sorry.
No. That's totally all right. So, movies, again, the type of movie that I'm looking for is something that is able to get that emotion across to you instantly, and you can feel it so hard, and that's what this movie did for me. So, but even as connected as I felt with this movie, I'm sure to some it will have its faults. And I think for Katy, there were a few, or at least one for her.
Yeah, this movie was pretty perfect, you guys. if you're looking for a good wholesome movie about Mr. Rogers with Tom Hanks, who is now deemed America's dad,
Oh my God. Jeez.
you'll love it. However, I did find there were parts that were a little slow. And when I mean slow, I mean, it's not an action movie, you guys, so it's not like all the time. But there are just parts of the story where I'm like, okay, I get where you're going.
Mhm.
I can already see it.
You can see it, the path.
So I'd rather you just get there now because I already see where it's going and I just rather see the resolution. Again, not anxiety ridden, but I would just rather get there because there's a lot of lead up to this and I don't think that some of it was needed. However, that didn't take me out of the movie. I was still very intrigued. Both Anthony and I, there were times in the movie we would always look at each other or squeeze each other's hand a little more, or cuddle up just a little more.
Me to her
and,
more of
yeah,
on this one, I have to admit. I really connected with it.
No, I know you did. And if you look at Ransom and Anthony's podcast about the decade of movies, you'll see where this lands on Anthony's list, so check it out.
Nice shout out, babe. Good
You're
job.
welcome.
When it comes down to brass tacks, though, where are you at with this movie? If you had to put a rating to it right now.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, okay.
Now, that's because there were slow parts, but honestly, after going out of this movie, like leaving the movie theater, I wanted to talk about this movie, which is very, very rare for me.
Very true. And as for me, I have to rate it out of 10. I normally try and match on these things because I'm just like, ugh, editing, I have to go do another 10 thing now. But I'm going to do it for this one because in my mind, I have to give it so much credit for the fact that it elicited such a strong response from me out of this movie. I can't remember the last time a movie made me feel like that.
I've only seen Anthony cry one other time. It was beautiful to see him react like that because a lot of the times I think movies for Anthony are a job, but then I see this and I remember it's a passion.
I just gotta say that if you are one for needing, in this time of all times, a movie to make you feel like we are not totally, absolutely screwed, this movie is the movie to bring you back into the light because it is a reminder that no one is perfect. We are all human, yet we can do better and we can be better to one another.
You hit those keys on the lower part of the piano and you get through it.
Yeah.
When you see the movie, you'll understand.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, America's Dad. By the way, did you guys see the magazine shoot where he looks like a hot dad? Hey, yo.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching this review, but as always,
I gotta
there's...
throw in my thirsty watchers.
I
I'm sorry.
But there's always more thirstiness, I'm sure, around the corner. Just stay tuned here at Worthy Watchers for more. Check out our podcast. We've got those going every Monday. They're always up without fail. Thank you guys for watching, and go watch What's Worthy.